Hello, can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me, type yes in the comments. Okay. Thank you, Tori. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Doreen. Thank you, Andre. Mr. Kofi Mensah, thank you. Thank you, Lois. Okay. Martin, thank you. Emmy, thank you. You're all welcome to our breakout room. Our topic for today is credit or debt, crash course on finance for MSMEs. And our resource person is going to be Mr. Kofi Mensah, who I already see is in the breakout room. Hello, Mr. Kofi Mensah, you're welcome.
Thank you. I
Read.
mean, just call me Kofi or Kofi Mensah is okay. The Mister is unnecessary. So it's fine.
Okay, sure. But before you come in, I would like to read something little about you. I mean, the things that I'm seeing here are not little at all. So, but I want to just make everyone or just introduce you to everyone. Yeah. So Mr. Kofi Mensah is a commercial data strategy manager at Band Global SA. And Band Global SA is a leading global agribusiness and food company where he supports business units within the Food Solutions Organization. And he has nearly a decade of experience across finance, business strategy, and commercial partnership. He's known for combining financial modeling, automation, and data insights to drive strategic decision making and sustainable business growth. That's a mouthful. I'm sure he will explain all that to us. He has worked across sectors including agribusiness, e-commerce, and financial services, and holds an MBA in corporate finance and investment from Washington University in Louis. St. Louis. St. Louis Olin Business School. Okay. Kofi is passionate about working closely with commercial teams to create long-term value. And in his free time, he enjoys sports and recently completed a 5-kilometer marathon. Wow, that's impressive. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome you once again, Mr. Kofi Mensah.
You're also committing the sin of calling me Mister. Um, yeah, so I'm happy to be here and to share my 2 cents knowledge and in terms of how businesses can scale using these financial tools we are going to talk about in terms of credits or debt. Let me quickly share my screen, then we can get it up going. Share sound. Great. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can. I mean, I can.
All right. Let me get my. So we are going to talk about credit or debt, a crash course on finance for MSMEs. Before I get started, I really like interaction. Anytime I'm doing any of these kind of presentations, I prefer to I prefer to interact with my audience than to just run through a bunch of slides. So please feel free to ask questions whilst I'm doing the presentation. Along the presentation, I'll be asking a few questions to get your feedback on what you think about debt or credit, or how some of you have probably used any of these financial tools. So please, and also, once again, just call me Kofi. No uncle, no mister, or anything of that sort. We are all adults, so please feel free to call them by my first name. So let's get started. So for today, we'll be focusing largely on, let me just move this up here, good. We're focusing largely on 4 key areas, all right? We are looking at the difference between debt and credit. What are these financial tools? We also dive deep to understand the principles of good debt versus bad debt. Do we really have good debts as it were, or do we really have are all debts bad? As in Ghana, we will normally say, "Oh, loan yeah," or the cat. We use certain phrases to present a certain image and a perspective around that. So we'll really dive deep into understand what are the principles of good debt and bad debt. We also try to bust or demystify the myth around debt or loan or borrowing or liability. Are these good things to associate your business with, or are these bad things to associate your business with? Then we also end off with how to use debt strategically to grow your business and to improve the performance of your business. So without much ado, let's go to the first slide. So here I just want to give us a broad idea about a concept in finance where we call capital structure. So capital structure basically means that the various items you are using to acquire assets. An asset here, I'm referring to the resources that you are going to use to generate value for your business in future. And you can acquire this asset from 2 main sources or category of sources. One side, we call it equity. So equity basically means you, the entrepreneur, you, the business owner, you are injecting financing, you are injecting resources into the business. And that gives you an ownership stake in that particular business. So that is equity. It doesn't always have to come from you, the owner, or the one who started a business. It could come from, someone else, maybe your family, your parents, your friends, your siblings who think that you have a very great business idea and they would want to be part of your business. So they go ahead and they may not necessarily require an ownership stake, but what they are doing is just contributing equity into the business. The other side of the capital structure is what we call a liability. And so liability is basically someone else giving you the financing or the resources to invest in your business, but it's a form of an obligation you have towards them. At the end of an agreed period of time, you will have to pay back whatever resources they gave you. In addition, you need to also compensate them. And that compensation can come in the form of interest payments. So let's dive deep on these 2 sources of financing for your assets. So you see the dotted line over there. I'm sure the people who came up with the topic, credit or debt, were focusing on trade credit. But I also want to highlight another aspect of credit, which is called credit sales, and I will explain further in our presentation. Basically, it's about you offering goods or services to people and allowing them to delay payment to another time. Now, in this particular scenario, when you do a credit sales to your customers or you offer credit sales to your customers, you generate revenue. The revenue flows into your profit after deducting expenses. The part of the profit that you don't spend for yourself or you don't take away and put in your own personal account, but you reinvest back into the business, we capture it under equity because you are reinvesting back to the business. So you capture under retained earnings, and retained earnings goes back into the equity part of your business. Then on the liability side, usually we break down into long-term and short-term. So long-term basically means that the debt or the loan or whatever you are borrowing would take more than 1 year to pay back. And so that's long-term liability. Then the short-term liability is within 1 year. So anything, if you went for a loan, the lender expects you to pay back within a year, that becomes a short-term liability. And within the short-term liability, I've just zoomed in on the 2 key items that we'll be talking about subsequently, debt and trade credits. I would also, sorry, I want to also add that an efficient use of equity or debt can help you scale. Of course, we'll find out how you can do that. In the course of the discussion, I'm going to be asking you guys what you think about going for a debt or credit. Now, let's start with the credits or trade credits. What is actually a trade credit? It's basically a relationship between a supplier and a business, in this case, a customer. So let's take, for instance, you run a bakery business, right? And you need flour for your bakery. You reach out to a supplier for some bags of flour, then you agree with the supplier that you're going to pay back maybe in 3 months' time. All right. So you are delaying payments now. You're not giving out cash immediately, but the supplier agrees to give you the flour bags, use it for your bakery sale to your customer, generate revenue, generate some extra cash, then you can pay back in 3 months. Now, there's a key thing we need to see here, and I've highlighted in red, means the ability. You, the one going for the trade credit facility from the supplier, must demonstrate an ability to pay back. And that ability can generate, work in different forms. It could be how you have built relationship with this supplier over a certain period of time. So the person trusts you. And one of the key abilities here is trust or credit worthiness. Another thing you can leverage as an ability is basically you showing that your business is viable, you have generated enough revenue over time, and you can pay back whatever service they render to you or whatever goods they give to you that allows you to use it for now and repay at a later date. So that is basically about credit. It's about relationship between a supplier and a customer. And usually businesses use trade credits to fund working capital. So working capital basically means it's a broad topic, but for this particular discussion, I'm going to focus on inventory and your relationship with your suppliers. All right. So your supplier says, I'm going to give you 10 bags of flour, use it and bring it another time. So that flour is going to help you to bake more loaves of bread or bake some other pastries or something. And that's a way to fund your inventory without you having cash. You are still able to leverage a credit arrangement with a supplier to be able to still be able to come up with the inventory and sell, generate revenue, and pay back. So trade credit, and usually it's a short-term facility or a finance tool that you can leverage as a business. And I showed in the credit, the capital structure. And also, it is very key for us to understand that trade credits, you can access a trade credit as much as possible if you have built a strong relationship with your supplier. All right. If I don't know you, the ease at which I'm going to give you, let's say, 20 bags of flour will not be the same if I knew you. All right. I may not necessarily even ask you so many questions. You just place a call to me and I ship the flour to your bakery site. So trade credit usually is based on how you have built your relationship with the supplier over time. Then just think about it. It is very flexible. I can just pick my phone, call the supplier. Oh, Auntie Muni, can I get some 20 bags of rice? I will pay you back in 1 week. You don't need to present any documents or agree on terms and conditions. And sometimes because of the relationship we have built with Auntie Muni over time, you know how the payment goes, you know her bank account, you know how to get to her. And so it is very flexible and very informal. Trade credit also comes with some implicit cost. What is the cost I'm talking about? So for instance, our Auntie Muni gives you the 10 bags of rice. You are into restaurant business, you sell on UG campus. Auntie Muni says, look, if you don't pay back my money in 3 months' time, I'm going to charge you a fee, maybe 1,000 Ghana cedis for delaying payments. The reason why Auntie Muni is charging is because you are denying her the opportunity to reinvest back her money in 3 months' time. So Antimony is charging for that. So there's an implicit cost, but you can avoid this implicit cost if you are faithful in paying your credits on time. There's the other side of this scenario I created. If you're a business and you have a very viable business and the business runs quickly, you're able to turn around your inventory quickly, you can leverage what we call discount terms. Antimony can say, okay, look, if you can pay me back before the 3 months, I'm going to offer you 10% discount. As a small business, you don't want to allow this opportunity to slip by. You always want to make sure that you are taking advantage of this opportunity of discounting to grow, to get extra cash and all that. Let me give an example. So Antimony says, look, this 10 bucks will amount to 10,000 Ghana cedis. In 3 months, pay my 10,000 Ghana cedis. Now he says, if you pay back before the 3 months, I'm going to give you 1,000 cedis as a discount. Now, if you pay back before the 3 months, you have 1,000 cedis free cash flow to re-inject back into your business. So you always want to leverage some of these discount opportunities to get extra cash and to reinvest into your business and to grow. And as based on the scenarios I've created, you would agree with me that trade credits is a great opportunity for you to grow your business. It's a tool that you can leverage efficiently to grow your business. Think about it. Without having cash on you, you can get supply from a supplier. I mean, have your goods, bake whatever bakery pastries you want to have, sell, and generate enough cash into your business. Let's still remain with Antimony's arrangement. Antimony gives me the flour bags, 10,000 Ghana cedis worth of flour bags. It says in 3 months payback. In 3 months after using this flour, I generate revenue of about 12,000. Revenue basically means sales. 12,000. If I pay back Antimony's 10,000, I have 2,000 cedis extra for my business. This I got purely from being excellent with my business and pay back my debt. That 2,000 Ghana cedis extra is a free cash flow to your business, and it will help you to grow. Instead of the next time you are going to Antimony, you're not going to ask for 10 bucks of flour, but you have extra 2,000 Ghana cedis to buy extra flour that would help you to grow your business or to scale a business. So, concluding on this particular side is that trade credits is a growth enabling tool. Let's move to the other side of the credits spectrum. It's what I call the credit sales. So credit sales is that you, the business who does bakery, is now offering your customers credits. So they can now access your goods or services and use it, consume it, then they can pay back at a later date. I would say on this particular slide is that it's more attractive to customers who who are maybe very price sensitive, and or even they can pay. They are not very price sensitive, but they don't have cash now. Think about salaried workers. They get their money at the end of every month. And so as a business, you may want to go into areas where the customers love credits. So what do? You can always expand your business through these credit facilities to your customers, and that can help you to expand. And if your customers are happy, you're happy. And through that, if you're offering good terms to these customers, if you're offering very favorable terms to these customers, it can strengthen your relationship with these customers, and you end up having loyal customers. And these loyal customers will end up having your repeat business. And as a business, a small business, you always want to make sure that you have people who are always coming back to sell. Like you have them on auto buy. Every month they are buying. Every month they are buying. And you would love to have such people in your business, in your corner, that they are giving you business all the time. You can use credit sale to scale to enter new markets. Let's a scenario: you sell sneakers on UG campus, and you would love to enter new market. Let's say you want to break into the UPSA markets. You want to go to K University market, and your target market are students on university campuses. What you can do here is that you offer credit to these people on these other campuses, and that can be a way for you to break into these markets and get and expand your business. It can also be a very competitive advantage. What do I mean by that? Let's say you are in a business where you are in an industry where most businesses don't offer credit. You can go in and offer the credits, and you will be the place of choice for customers in that industry because you're offering them good credits and favorable terms. And so that becomes an advantage over your competitors. Now, before I move to the next slide, which is more on debt, where we are going to dive deeper on debt, I want to ask a question. How many of us here think that debt is good? You can unmute yourself and just talk. But I still want a response. How many of us think that debt is good? Anyone? Anyone? Do I have people on call? Hello?
Hello.
Do I have anyone? I want to get a response. How many of us think that debt is good? Loan is good. Borrowing is good. How many of us think so? One?
Me.
Okay. So why do you say so?
I think it can be good if you get the right deals. It can be good because it will save you some like the things that you have explained, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you are owing your supplier, like she gives you like 3 months to pay, and within the 3 months you're going to make up the money. And
sounds good.
Yeah, so it's like a soft loan, and you didn't pay interest on it, and you're going to benefit from it. So why not? Than using your capital.
Yeah. Anyone else think loan is bad? Borrowing is not a good idea? How many of us think that borrowing is a bad idea? Anyone? I still want a response. I said earlier it's going to be an interactive discussion, even though I'm the one talking a lot of the time, but I still want to get some response from people.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kofi.
You have committed a sin. But
anyway, go ahead. Forgive me for that. Sure. So I think that borrowing is good and both bad because it depends on the market.
Okay.
Market, yes. You may get somebody who would give you the capital, the initial thing you need to do, for the example of the flour. But if the market that you are assuming will be a good market turns out to be a bad market, then the outcome is negative. But on the other side, too, if you let the market be good, then you are good to go on that. So I think it's both good and bad. Thank you.
Great. I'm happy you guys have both sides of the perspective that it could be good or it could be bad. It's all about how efficiently you are using the debt to run your business. So what is debt? Debt, as I explained in I think the second slide, is a liability to your business. Most of the time when you hear liability, we think it's a bad thing, but it's just a way for it. It's just saying that loan that you have received, you have an obligation to pay back. So anytime somebody gives you something a resource that falls under the liability, it just basically means that you have the obligation to pay back to that entity or to the person who offered you the loan or the facility. All right. And usually I put debt under two main categories. We have the formal one, which comes with strict legal agreements, terms and conditions. It comes with formalized way, like your schedule. Every month you have to pay this amount of money. The interest rates you are aware, the principal you are aware, the monthly payment you are aware. There's structure around how you're able to access this kind of loan, and usually it's by those in the formal the formal financial institutions, that they're heavily regulated financial institutions. Those people offer more the formal loans. Then there are the informal loans, which are very flexible. The terms are very flexible. For instance, somebody in your family says, okay, Kofi, just take 1,000 cedis as loan. I don't need interest. So the person might even say, I don't need interest from you, just pay me back in 3 months' time. Your friend can say that, oh, just invest this 2,000 to your business, just pay me back in 6 months' time. All these kind of arrangements are more informal, and they don't require any fixed legal agreement and all that. You have to sign documentation and all that. I must also say, though, that debt being a liability comes with a cost. As I said, you need to compensate the person or the entity providing you the loan. It may not be in most instances, but in most instances, you are supposed to pay back, and the cost manifests itself in interest payments. The interest rate on it is the cost of the loan. The loan can be for different periods. Usually, we break them down into two buckets: the short term and the long term. Long term, as I explained earlier on, is more than 1 year, and short term loans are within 1 year. And loans give you the opportunity to repay over time. And so usually, if you're going for a loan from financial institutions, they will give you a payment schedule. The payment schedule shows you every month or every week how much you are supposed to pay back the loan. And at the end of the loan period, you'd have paid everything, both principal and the interest on the loan. And most loans come with collateral. So you'll be asked to present either your car, your house, or any facility, any asset as a guarantee for the loan. So basically what the bank, for instance, will be, the reason why they are asking for the loan is that if you fail to pay or you default on the loan, they can use your asset to pay off part of the loan. And also think about it, the banks don't just generate money. The money they are giving to you as loan is from another saver or a customer of the bank who has left their money at the bank for the bank to be a custodian of it. The bank is just using free money to generate some income for themselves and make sure that anytime the customer comes, they can have access to their money. So that money they are giving to us loan is something that they have to replace. So that is why they are asking you for the asset. So if you fail to pay, they will take back the asset. Some other form of collateral can be personal guarantees. So personal guarantees are people who are, let's say, in a very reputable personalities in society. It could be a pastor, it could be even the president of Ghana can say, okay, look, I know Lois. Lois is doing a fantastic business. But Lois doesn't have big assets to serve as collateral. So I, as a pastor, or me as with my reputation in society, I want to stand in for this person. I want to guarantee this loan for this person. And for those of you who have gone for student loans, especially in Ghana, you know that there are guarantors. So the guarantors are basically saying that, look, if this person fails to pay, I'm going to pay, which we hope it will not be the case of your business. But that's another form of collateral. Then to access a loan, you need to show credit worthiness. That is your ability to pay back. And you can only examine your ability to pay back if you have shown past history of loan payments. Maybe in the past you have gone for loan and you have been faithful to pay back the loan on time, not when you skip payments, but on time, and you finish the payments within the schedule. That gives you some credit worthiness to access more facility from other entities or other individuals. So it is very important that you are faithful in your repayments. Now, you can access debt from many sources. I'll put them into two main buckets, traditional and non-traditional. So the traditional are your usual commercial banks, savings and loans, and microfinance, and sometimes credit unions. And the non-traditional ones will be your mobile money. It's very non-traditional. It should just come into the frame. It's very popular, means where as a small business, you can secure borrow a loan or debt facility from the lenders, either the telcos or other credit, those mobile money vendors as well. Now, you can also access loan from government agencies. And if you're on this call, you are a business owner and you have not explored this opportunity, please go ahead and start exploring. There are many government agencies that offer grants or small loans or micro loans to small businesses. I can think about the Ghana Enterprises Agency, and they're in every district. Just go to the office and speak to them about your need your need for a loan or what are the facilities they have. Sometimes they even organize training for entrepreneurs. So please, one of these days, just pass through the offices and make inquiries on what they are doing. And I believe that you can take advantage of the opportunities over there. We can also think about Maslog that offer micro loans to businesses. Just shut out the noise that, oh, they'll pay politics. Yes, the politics might be there, but sometimes they genuinely give loans to people, businesses. So you can leverage that opportunity. And I've countless occasions up to this point. I've given examples how you can leverage credit to grow your business. In the same vein, you can leverage debt to grow or to scale your business if you manage the loan facility very well. Now we're going to go to dive deep into learning about what is a good debt. And Lois and Martin gave us a good idea how a debt can be good or can be bad. But let's dive deeper into that. Now, let's start with a good debt. A good debt basically must fuel growth of your business, must help you to scale, must help you to expand your business in terms of your revenue or any other metrics that you are looking at. And so, for instance, you go for a loan. And after this, I'm going to show you a practical example of how a good loan can help you scale, scenarios about return on investment and all that. But a good loan should fuel growth. And one way that a good loan can fuel growth is operational efficiency. Let me give an example. Let's say you have a studio, photo studio, and there are new technologies coming up, right? AI enabled softwares where you just upload the picture, the raw pictures, and just about a click of a button, it helps you improve the picture quality by almost 90%. The 10% is just for you to make sure that the contrast, the color, coloration, and everything is good and perfect for your own taste. You can go for a debt, and assuming that every day you can only process maybe 500 pictures from, let's say, an average of 10 customers. If you were to go for a loan to invest in a more new technologies with your photo editing studio, you probably could scale that and instead of 10 customers, you can service 50 customers because you are just clicking a button to improve the quality of the pictures. So that is a good side of how you can use loan to improve operational efficiency. Another example of a good debt or a good borrowing is helping you to improve your customer relations. So probably you will invest in a technology or something else that can help you to manage your. So for instance, when customers come to your shop, they are always standing, but you want to make sure that they feel comfortable in your shop. And so you may want to, if you don't have the capital to invest in some furniture, you may want to go for a loan because you think that if you invest in that furniture, you will have more customers coming in, they will feel comfortable and even prepared to buy other things. So let's say you have a restaurant where people come in there, they have comfortable seats sitting on it, they have good ambience, there's television showing some sports or movies. And sometimes, even though they came there to buy maybe fried rice, they may end up buying drinks, they may end up buying some pastries. So your investment in furniture and making sure that the ambience looks good has gone beyond just somebody coming in to buy jollof rice, but to buy drinks and other things. And that is a growth enabling investment from the side of debt. Another good way that you can use debt, which shows that your debt is a good loan or a good debt, is expanding your facilities. So let's give an example. You have a shop in Medina Market. You sell sneakers, but your shop size is very small. And so the foot traffic in there is very small. And anytime people pass by, they admire your shelf and the sneakers you have over there. But the point is that your store is always choked with only 5 people. And so because of that, you are losing customers. You can consider to go for a facility to expand the size of your shop and improve and increase the foot traffic, thereby also generating more revenue and growing your business. So that's a good example of when you can go for a debt, or when a debt qualifies to be a good loan or a good debt. We're in the era of social media, right? Everything is on a click. Everybody's on social. Everybody has tended to be a phone maniac. We're always on our phone. For instance, you're a bakery business. You are in baking nice cakes for wedding and for events, but you are not attracting more customers because you're not on social media. And probably you may want to go for a loan to be able to help with your social media marketing. All right, that will drive sales to your business, to your page. People will place an order, and that will help you to grow your customer base, improve your revenue. And that's a good sign of using that to improve your operations, grow your business, and all grow your profitability of the business. Another example of how a debt can be good is, let's go back to the example of the photo studio. Probably up to this point, you were the master of photo editing, but you were always using old technology. Now there are new technologies that new skill sets. Probably you have to invest about $1,000 into developing and acquiring that skill. And you believe that going for that skill, building yourself with that skill will help you scale instead of attending to only 100 maybe or 50 customers because your pictures don't look as sharp as those who have the skill set to use modern technology to be able to edit their photos. You can decide to go for a loan, invest that $1,000 into your skills, and if you are confident that acquiring that skills will help you improve your customer count from 100 to 500, why not? You should go for it. That's a good debt because it's going to eventually help you to scale your business. So these are some of the examples of how a debt can be qualified as a good debt. Now let's look at the flip side of what really a bad debt is. For you, one of the key things you have to look out for when you're going for a loan are the terms of the loan. Are they favorable to you? So for instance, they can tell you, okay, you can take maybe, let's say the amount is about 50,000 Ghana cedis, and you have to pay the loan within 1 year. You know very well that you cannot generate enough to be able to pay off the loan within that 1 year. That is a bad debt because that bad debt is going to be a drain on your resources. It might even cause you to be hypertensive or have health challenges. So that is a bad debt. So you should always make sure that you are comfortable with the terms of the loan. You are confident that you can pay back the loan within the schedule, and your business generates enough revenue or cash flow to be able to pay that loan. Another example of an unfavorable aspect of bad debt is negative return on investment. After this slide, I'm going to show you an example of how you're going to use your loan to determine whether your loan is going to generate a positive return on investment or a negative return on investment. All right. So if you're going for a loan to spend on operational activities, please, that's a bad debt. Well, an operational activity is going for a loan to pay salaries. That salary does not generate returns, generate cash flows to pay back on itself. The one question you also need to ask yourself is that, would this loan pay itself? In whatever I'm going to invest in, will it pay itself? If it's not going to pay itself, please, that's a bad debt, because how are you going to pay off the loan if whatever you're going to use the loan for cannot pay back itself? Another thing is that a lot of us, small businesses, because we don't have a bit of a good structure around how our business run, let's say you go for a 10,000 Ghana cedi loan, you use only 20% into the business, and the rest you use it on personal consumption or non-essential spending, luxury lifestyle. You want to show off, you want to buy a new phone. If the phone is going to be used for your business, that is a good debt. But if you're going to use the loan for your personal luxury lifestyle, that is a bad debt because that person, your luxury lifestyle, will not pay back the loan. So it is very important that you are not spending, you are not using the loan for personal consumption, but you're using it for productive activity. So let's look at an example of a scenario of a return on investment. So the ROI is basically a return on investment, how much you are generating after paying the loan. So the case bakery. So let's say my wife is Kaki, she's K. Our first child is called Kweku. He's also a K. So that's our small bakery business. So the case bakery. So let's say I'm the one running it, but it's a family business. We want to expand our bakery business, so we go for a loan, and the principal amount is 5,000 Ghana cedis. The annual interest rate is 10%. Based on the payment schedule, our monthly payment is 500 Ghana cedis. The loan is for 12 months, which is 1 year. By the end of the 12 months, we would have paid 6,000 Ghana cedis. So in this case, the cost of my loan is about 1,000 Ghana cedis. If you take the principal out of the total repayment, that interest payment is 1,000 Ghana cedis. Let me check in the chat if there are any questions. Good. Thank you, Kwesi, for your contribution. So I have this 5,000 loan. Let's say our old oven can only bake 100 loaves of bread each day. And that's 100 daily loaves of bread generates about 20,000 Ghana cedis revenue or sales. Now, if we invest this 5,000 Ghana cedis into a new oven or improve our oven, we are going to bake 200 loaves of bread daily. And that will translate into 40,000 Ghana cedis. Now, let's say with our new oven, we think that there are other ways to even improve the taste and the flavor of whatever we are baking. So that also brings an extra cost of, let's say, 1,500 Ghana cedis every month. So that's the extra cost. Now, if we were to include your monthly loan payment, which is 500, plus your extra cost of ingredients, you are going to generate a monthly profit of 18,000 Ghana cedis from the 5,000 loan that you went for. In fact, out of this loan, you can just pay off your loan after the first month. This is a good example of a good loan. And so if you look at what you ask, so what is the return on investment? It's basically taking your monthly loan payment out of your profits, which is the 18,000 divided by the loan amount, the monthly loan amount, and you're returning 3,500% return on investment. This is a good example of a good debt. And so if you have such an opportunity, you shouldn't run away from it. I have a template where I have a simple template. Let me see if I can share that template. I'll come back because my time is running almost. I'm done for 40 minutes. So after that, I'll share the template, how the template works. It's just a basic template that you can use to check whether you are having a good return on investment or a bad return on investment. Now, the question I want to ask is that when should you use debt? When should you use debt? One, you should have a clear plan to repay. Determine that, okay, I'm going to use this loan for this initiative or buy new equipment. And I think that I can pay every month 1,000 Ghana cedis. Have a clear plan of what you're going to use the loan for and how you're going to pay back. And from the example from the previous slide where we're calculating our ROI, ask yourself, would the loan lead to increased revenue or profits like that 18,000? If that 80,000 is going to be a loss, then don't go for it. So that's another example of when you should go for a loan. You should ask yourself, what is the cost of the loan compared to your expected return? And as you can see from here, our cost is 500 Ghana cedis. And for the total, after the loan repayments, our total cost will be 1,000 Ghana cedis. But we are generating 18,000 even on a monthly basis. And so that is a good debt that you can say, okay, my return is far higher than the cost of the loan. So I can really go for this particular loan. So these are some of the scenarios that you should consider when you want to go for a loan. Now, I have simple questions here. You should ask yourself when you're going for a loan, how much do I really need? Don't go for extra money, because the sales guy from the bank or the microfinance or the savings and loans is wrapping you with good, oh, this loan is good, it will help you. Please just focus on how much you need for your business. Don't go beyond that. That is a good practice for your business. You are being disciplined with running your business. What will I use the loan for? What is the purpose of the loan? Is the purpose for personal consumption, or the purpose is for business growth, or growth initiative, or initiative that will help you scale your business? Please and please make sure that you know the purpose of your loan before. Don't be attracted or convinced by the sweet talking sales guy from the financial institutions. Also, another question you can ask yourself is that, what is the repayment plan? Do I have flexibility around the repayment plan in terms of the date and the schedule I'm giving? Am I paying daily for the loan, or I'm paying monthly on the loan? Because daily means that every day you have to generate revenue. If you don't, you are in a deep hole. So always make sure you understand the repayment plan and ask yourself, can I follow this repayment plan? If you cannot, please don't go for such loan. And what is the total interest and total cost? You need to ask yourself, is this loan affordable? Can I pay back this loan? If you cannot, for instance, the example we gave, you said, okay, you are generating 18,000 Ghana cedis in profit, and the cost of the loan is 1,000. So that's nothing, right? Compared to whatever you are generating from that investment with the loan. So you always make sure that what is the interest rate. And also, please, when you are speaking to these banks, ask them whether there are any hidden fees. Sometimes some of the fees are not transparent. You only get to know after you have gotten a loan, and they'll tell you, oh, there's that fee. There's a small writing on somewhere in small font size. You didn't see it, but you went for the loan. And so always make sure that you are comfortable with the terms and conditions of the loan, and you know that the cost of the loan is not more than what you're going to generate from the loan. We have given an example of what is the IRI, so I will not belabor the point on that. As a small business, what are some of the tools that you can use to manage your loan? I mean, I'm sure most of us on this call have tools, laptop, which has Microsoft Excel. That is a free tool you can use to keep records of your business. If you have a phone, there are many apps on our phones that helps you track your activity of your business, bookkeeping apps. So please leverage such tools. Also, you can just do a simple Google search, loan repayment trackers templates, and you have a bunch of them. If you don't, you can even go to your Microsoft Excel. When you go to the file, open, and it gives you all those. You can look for templates and just in the search button, loan repayment trackers. That's an example for you to use to track to keep yourself in schedule. That, okay, you are paying your 5,000 loan over 12 months. Then you keep records. Anytime you pay, just go into the tracker and enter how much you have paid. That way, you're able to know, okay, how far away you are from the paying of the loan. And it can also help you keep records so that when the bank comes and challenges you that you have not done paying your loan, you can show them the evidence that this is my evidence. This is when I paid my loan on this date, this is the amount, and all that. So it's very critical for you to be able to leverage all that. Financial advisors or SME consultants, if you can, sometimes all of these things are free, all right? You don't have to even pay them. I mean, the time I was working the financial institutions in Ghana, I remember my company used to organize free financial literacy, and I used to do that. It is free. In such training or such workshop or such seminars, go there and leverage opportunities of these experts and gain your knowledge. Ask them questions, scenario that is around your business. That way you can get free service without paying for any financial consultants or financial experts on that. Next slide is, so we have heard a lot. So this one is just for us to just wrap our mind around what are some of the myths around debt, loan, borrowing. all debt is bad. No, we as Lois and Martin give us an example. As long as you use the loan for strategic initiatives, strategic projects, the loan is not bad. It's going to be a good debt. So basically, think about it around the principles around good debt. I should never loan. I should never owe. These are some of the talks that we have back home. No, owing is not bad as long as you're using it for strategy. Look, even the trillion-dollar businesses, they go for loans. They go for Apple has got a huge amount of cash in their bank account, but they still issue bonds because that's free money. If I use the loan, for instance, the bakery example I gave, I went for 5,000, I'm generating 18,000 revenue. That's free money. I didn't have to dip into my pocket and bring out that 5,000. That is free money. That's free cash flow to me as a business owner. So let's move away, reorient ourselves around the perspective that I should never owe. That I don't think would help you as a business to scale, because all the financing might not come from you. You may not get somebody offering you huge credit facility to be able to expand your business. So as long as you're able to leverage that strategically, you can scale your business. I will go straight to banks only lend to big companies. No, banks, for instance, in Ghana, we have SME loans. As long as you are showing potential, you are showing good records of your business, you are showing good history of your payment of past loans, the banks will be willing to offer you loan. As long as you are demonstrating an ability, capacity, showing evidence that you can pay off the loan, they will give you the loan. For instance, you know that every year your revenue is 20,000 Ghana cedis, but you're going to the bank for 100,000 Ghana cedi loan. They will not give it to you because that is not showing your ability to pay. Your ability to pay is 20,000 for the whole year, but even that they will not give it to you because you have other expenses. So they will. That is, you have not shown them the evidence that you can pay. But if you can show them the evidence that okay, you generate 200,000 in revenue and your after paying off every expenses, you are left with about 50,000 profit. You can say, why not? We can offer you a 20,000 loan, and that can be a way for you to scale. So banks are also looking for potential profit businesses to invest in with in terms of loans. Cash is king. Yes, cash is king. But cash, you may not have the cash all the time, and that can be a way to help you to cushion your cash flows and improve your business. So how do you want to make your debt or credit work for you? Keep proper records. I've said earlier on, leverage tools that are free to scale your business. Keep records of your business. Separate your personal or business finances. Please see your business as a human being separate from you. Make sure every expenses on the business is kept separate. That way you're able to track your performance. Don't mix your personal expenses with your business because it's my own business, so I want to use that. No, please, let's limit that. Start small, scale responsibly. Look, I've said that loan is good, but always, Warren Buffett once said, for him, one good way of risk management strategy is don't dip all your don't dip your 2 feet into a deep blue sea or into a deep river or into anything. Always go with one. If you are, it's expressing that where you are placing your leg is going deeper, you can quickly use your other leg to put the leg inside the water back. So don't put all your 2 feet in the water, or as we say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Just start small, test the water, especially if you are entering new markets, you are not sure of the new markets you are going into. Don't go for a big loan with so much confidence that you can break through and make money out of the new market you are entering. As a small business, build relationships. Know how to talk to your lenders, know how to talk to your creditors. If you promise your supplier, I'm going to pay back in 3 months or in 2 weeks, pay back. Be sure that you are building a strong relationship. And sometimes businesses scale not because of how good your business, but because of the relationship you have with the supplier. Having a good relationship can even help you to negotiate better terms with your supplier. Instead of paying your flour of bags in 10 days, because of your good relationship, you can even negotiate for 20 days. So please, it is very important for you as a small business owner to build strong relationship. I have not seen any question in the chat so far. Please feel free to put in your question as far as this discussion is concerned. Now, practical tips that you can leverage to access credit or debt. I think I've explained some of them, but prepare a simple business plan. For me, my framework of a business plan is: 1, identifying a problem in the market that you are in. 2, demonstrating how your product or your services is addressing the need of the market. 3, show evidence how your product or service in addressing this problem will generate value. If you can show this, if you can go along this framework, every bank or every lender will be prepared to offer you a credit facility. Or okay, 25 minutes more. Okay, I thought because the timer here is 50, and I know I had an hour to complete everything. Okay, probably let me take my time. Then register your business. It is free. The last time I did in Ghana, whilst I was in Ghana, it was free for me. I think somebody's joining me on this particular presentation. I can see some marks here and there, but register your business. Go to the Registrar General to register your business. Registering your business brings credibility to your business. The bank know that, okay, this is a legal entity, registered. So please, if you have time, and if you have not registered your business, go and register your business. Some of you are running away because of tax. Look, it's good for you. You just have to learn how to manage your tax expenses. All right. You can speak to somebody who's a tax expert on how to reduce your tax burden but still growing your business. Get a tax ID or a business bank account. It is very important. If you're a business and at this stage you don't have a bank account, please go and open one. It is very key for you as a business to track. In fact, it's a good way to track what money is going in and what money is coming out. You also need to get a tax ID. Sometimes you get a tax refund, all right? When you file your taxes, the government can give you a tax benefit because probably the government has a policy to help small businesses to scale. Well, if you have a tax ID, you can benefit from such tax policies, such friendly tax policies from the government. So as a small business, please make sure that you are leveraging some of these tips to be able to grow your business. So I want us to go into scenarios where you can, whether to use credits or to use debt. All right. So the first is inventory purchase. If you're going to go for 10 bags of rice and you have a supplier who is willing to offer you even 20 bags of rice, there's no point going for a debt because that debt is going to come with extra cost, which is the interest. Sometimes the trade credits will help you because you don't have to come up with fiscal cash, immediate cash to be able to pay back. And so that's a good way. So if you're going for inventory, please, and if you have a supplier who's willing to supply you the inventory, then leverage credits and trade credit or credit in this case as a general term. Let's say you are in a business where there's seasonal spike, like let's say Christmas. So many people are coming to you, you bake bread, or during the end of the year, there are so many weddings, there are so many activities, and end of year parties and all that. You bake some nice pastries, and people are demanding a lot, and you want to scale, you want to grow. You can leverage a debt or credit. So, for instance, like the example we gave, the case bakery. If you know that, okay, within that period, you can even generate enough revenue, enough profit to pay off, in fact, the principal of the debt in 1 month, why not go for it? The same way, if instead of going for a loan, you need extra inventory from your supplier, just leverage that opportunity as well. If, let's say, in the case bakery scenario, you want to buy a new oven altogether, not just moving away from the old, by buying extra oven, then I would suggest go for a loan because sometimes the capital investment is huge and you may not have that to be able to get it from credits or your own bank account or your personal finances or from family and friends. So you may want to consider debt. However, there can be also a trade credits opportunity. I know some businesses who offer home appliances or certain appliances on credit. If you know such opportunities, please leverage that and find out whether the terms of that credit facility is good for you. Then you can leverage that. If you want to go into new product launches or enter into a new market, as an example, I said about you sell sneakers, or let's say you have a ride, you have this motorbike where you do a food delivery business. So you are a food delivery business, you have motorbikes, and currently your market is UG campus. So you deliver food to all the halls. But you can see that it's a very profitable business. And you want to scale your business and go to delivering food at UPSA, or expand your business to KNWC in Kumasi, and maybe build partnership with restaurants around, but you need extra motorbikes. That is a huge investment that you need. You can go in with debt, because that will be a lot of money that you need to be able to acquire new bikes. Now, if you have cash flow issues, let's say you are out of cash, but you need goods, you can leverage credits if it's inventory or anything, or you can go for debt if what we are going to use for you think that you cannot generate cash flow in any time. So you've sold you have credit sales arrangement with your customers, and their payment is not due, but you also need some equipment or some new inventory. You can, think about it. Which of these options, credit or debt, is favorable to you as a business, and which of them? So sometimes you can go for trade credits, but the credit will not give you enough goods, right? Maybe you need 100 bags of goods of rice, but your supplier says your credit limit with me is 10 bags. You want to consider a loan, acquire the 90 extra, sell your food, generate extra cash flow for yourself. Then you can pay back the loan or the trade credit. What are the unique advantages of credit or debt? I think we've gone through a lot. One, credit is ease of access and speed. I can just place a call to my supplier. I need 10 bags and it to be delivered to me today or tomorrow. Loan does not offer that opportunity. You may go through a long process. It can take a month or two before you can eventually get access to the loan. Now, credit also reduces cash flow pressure. You don't need to have immediate cash to be able to buy inventory. As long as you are able to build a good relationship with your suppliers, you can have access to it. You don't need the collateral to be able to access a trade credit, and that's a good thing, right? I don't need to present my car, give my car to the bank, to the supplier, or my house to the supplier before I can access, let's say, even 100 bags of rice or 100 bags of any item you want to go for. So trade credits present a great opportunity for you to access goods or services without putting your assets as a surety. On the side of debt, as you said, if you want to do buy new equipment which needs large capital injection, debt is a good source. Sometimes some of these debt opportunities are flexible. You have gone for a loan, 50,000 loan. It says you can pay back in 3 years. And you know that, you can even pay back based on your own business projection and everything. You can pay back in a month, in a year. That is a flexible term for you. So you can go for that. These days, I think the Bank of Ghana has a credit bureau, and basically it helps you to build credit history. And if you have very good credit history, sometimes banks don't need your assets. They can, just based on your history, they can offer you a loan. So it is important that you have your name, you have your business in such system, so that in future, if you have been consistently paying for loan, you go for loan, you pay. I think just check, there are so many credit bureaus in Ghana. Just look out for them and find out whether your name, your business name is in their system, in their history, or they generate for you a credit report for you. You can ask them if your business is registered and all that, and the place you have been going for loan, they have your data in it. They can generate credit report for you, how much loan you have had, how much you owe, and all that. So it is important for you. If the debts, as I think I give an example, if the debt has a longer repayment, well, 5 years, then you think that you can even pay back in a year, go for it. It's a good thing. What are our key takeaways? From our discussion, we have come to agree that credit is not a tool. Credit is a tool, not a trap. Same goes for debt. A debt is not a tool. the saying that I don't ever want to owe. It's a trap. It's a burden. No, we have agreed that that is not the case. Credit or debt is a tool and not a trap. As long as you are using it efficiently. A good debt is strategic and it pays for itself. Don't invest in personal consumption projects. Let the debt pay for itself based on the asset you're investing in, based on the project you're investing in, based on the initiatives you're investing in. Let the debt pay for itself. Understand, plan, and manage your debt. Use tools to record your business and understand where you're going to invest the loan, how the loan is going to pay for itself, over what period, and all that. So plan these things. Then finally, ask yourself a basic question. Will this borrowing, loan, debt grow my business? If the answer is no, please don't go for it. Whether it's credit or debt, if it's not going to help you scale, grow, expand your business, never go for it. So what is our action plan? One, master cash flow. In finance, when you see cash flow, it's basic. Don't be confused. It's something simple. Where is my money coming from? And where am I? And where is the money going? That's basically about cash flow. And if you have a tool like a bookkeeping tool or your Excel where you record all your sales, your key customers, and all that. For instance, let me give an example. If you have good record of your business and every customer you have, the sales you have made to them and all that, you can determine who are your top customers. Let's say your top 5 customers make up 80% of your revenue, your business, your revenue. Those customers are customers you should spend a lot of time building strong relationship with so that they can have repeat business with you. If you have that, and you can only determine that if you know if you have records of your business. Again, through your good bookkeeping records, you can determine where your cash is, where you are spending your cash. Are you spending your cash on more utility bills? Are you spending your cash on something else? If you're spending more on utility bills, you can now start thinking and say, okay, why am I spending more on utility? What are the things I can do to make sure that I have efficiency in my shop or anything to reduce my utility bills? You can only determine that based on data, and that data will help you understand your cash flow. Another thing is that you need to learn to optimize your debt or credits. Make sure that you identify good debt sources. Make sure that you negotiate good terms. So always the principle is this. Let's say, for an example, you also sell things, you have credit sales facilities with your customers. Always make sure that your customers have a shorter payment period compared to your payment with your suppliers. If your supplier says you have to pay me back my 10 bags of rice in a month, make sure that if you're offering credit sales to your customers, they're paying back within 2 weeks or 3 weeks, at least a week before the 1 month is due. Don't always offer credit sales to people who exceed even the time that your supplier has given you. And always learn to negotiate longer payment duration with your suppliers, with your lenders or anything. That will give a lot of opportunity to turn around your inventory, collect money from your debt, from your customers, and reinvest back into the business before even the payment the payment to your suppliers or your lenders are due. Identify growth opportunities. Don't just be excited that, oh, it is Christmas. There will be more people buying cake for me, So I want to invest 10,000, go for a 10,000 loan to invest. No, ask yourself, will this grow my business? The fact that there's Christmas and all that does not mean that people would buy from you, all right? I have 12 minutes left. Just run it up. Always build strong relationships. Relationships are good for your business. All right, so that'll be all. I'm open to questions.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you, but I was just going to remind you that we had to use some of the time for Q&As. Yeah, thank you so much for this presentation. I've learned a lot. Yes. I've learned that when I am going in for either credit or debt, I should ask myself some questions. I should ask myself, how much do I really need? What am I using it for? What is the repayment plan? and what is the ROI of this loan? Yes, so thank you so much. I believe we have some questions. So please, at this point, if you have any questions, the floor is open. You can type it in the chat if you don't want to speak up, but as much as possible, we would love it if you could unmute and then share. Thank you. So I'm
Yes.
monitoring the chats, but if you want to share.
Yes, I really want to stress that as a business, you need to leverage all sorts of financing to grow, expand your business. We need to move away from the mindset that loan is bad and loan is going to put a lot of burden. Of course, it's going to put a lot of burden on you if you don't learn to use it efficiently. I also want to add that we need to ask questions. I like questions. I don't know. And for some reason, if I was not asked to, do a slice, I would have done. I would have rather started off with questions, then I'll end with few slides. So, how many of us here are business owners? Anyone who runs his or her own business? Anyone here?
I'm starting a business.
Good. So what are you going to do? Maybe we can we can use your business as a scenario to think around whether you have to use debt or you have to use credits. So can you tell us what this new business is all about?
So it's about I sell handmade bags, and it's I'm starting from scratch basically. So I think one thing that I am not doing is proper bookkeeping. Because some months I make some money, other months I don't, and I don't even know where the money ends up. Yes. So that's my major challenge right now. And also I think finding out the products that would sell more. Yes. So that's where I am right now.
Yeah. So I mean, I think one of the key lessons is keeping a good record of your business, right? If you kept a good business, you will know seasonal sales. You will know when you are selling more bags and which seasons you are selling more bags. And that can inform you when to keep high inventory because you know that, okay, this season I'm going to sell more, so I need to keep more inventory, and where you need to reduce your inventory because you know that, okay, this low sales season. So having a good record, you can just capture all your sales in a simple spreadsheet, build a chart. You can see like let's a line chart or a graph, a column chart of over time. You can see all the trends that can inform you how you should run your business and when you can even ask your supplier for more goods, for more bags that you can sell because you know that this is a cycle where I sell more bags. So when you ask for more more bags from the suppliers, you know you're going to pay back within time. So I think it's good it's a good thing. I mean, fashion is a good thing. People are buying bags and all that, but you need to understand your business and all that.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Please, we have 6 more minutes. If you have any questions, kindly drop it in the chat or ask.
Yeah, I want to share the templates here. I mean, just for a quick template of what I was talking about. So this is a quick template. So I'm using the bakery example where you have, so the old oven is here. This is how much revenue you are generating. This is the new oven you are generating. Then this monthly and this annually. All right. So if your business is bags, you can just put in there the bags. Maybe you sell 10 bags and how much you're going to generate. And this is your loan details, how much loan you are getting, how much monthly payments and all that. What is the period you put in months? And you're able to determine your ROI here in this particular box. It's automated. So probably I'll share it after this whole career connect event so that people can just use that to determine whether the loan they're going for will be good for them or bad for them.
Thank you so much.
All right. I guess everybody is satisfied. Anyone with a business, maybe before we go, anybody running their own business? Anyone? All right. Thank you so much for your attention and contribution as well. Lois, Martin, everyone, thanks so much.
Before we go, I would like to call some people to share at least one or two things they've learned. We can't just let resource person just leave like that. So let me see. Irajwa. Hello, Irajwa. Hello. Irajwa.
Hello.
Hi. Hope you enjoyed the session.
Yes, I did.
Could you please share one or two things that you are taking away with you after the session?
So not that it was necessarily new to me, but I think just a reminder that credits or debts in themselves are not good or bad, but it's just how they are used or how efficiently they are used. Yeah, I think that was a major takeaway for me.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so let me choose another person. Hi, Enoch. Hello, Enoch. Has Enoch dropped off? Okay, no, Enoch is still here. Okay, let me quickly move to another person. Emilia. Hi, Emilia. Hello, Emilia. Okay, we have 3 more minutes for the breakout session to end. Okay, so one final time, is there anyone who wants to share anything at all they've learned from this session before we leave the breakout rooms? Andre, Kwesi, Emmy, Beauty Gomen. Okay, I think we are all okay. We are all satisfied with your presentation. It was really detailed, I must say. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Hope to hear from you in another session, or hope to see you. Yeah.
Hopefully. All
Thank you
right.
so much.
All the best to entrepreneurs and all the best in your entrepreneurial journey.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so one announcement. When